Ramsoni on the beat. What?
Wow. I mean,
Fire it up.
30 people intro video, dude. Like, come on, man. Late night stream, Philly Blitz, powered by 14th and Market. I'm Parth here with Pierre and Quell. How you guys doing on this fine Thursday evening?
Hey, listen, man. Doesn't that intro just get you fired up, bro? Don't you feel the goosebumps on your arms, dog?
Let's go, bro.
Let's go. It's
I mean,
pod
you're
time.
wearing a sweatshirt, so I can't see your arm, but understood. I was like,
Hey,
yeah,
final boss.
my name Jordan. Yeah. Just freestyling on the beat there a little bit, you know. As soon as I said that, now your guys' days are ruined. You're like, oh, okay, don't ask me how I'm doing now.
Oh man. Well, wubba dub to those who celebrate. It is the one and only Marquil for Owens live to you from, of course, one and only Washington, D.C., watching the Washington Commanders currently get, as the kids say, BTA by the Green Bay Packers. So couldn't be a better start to the day.
Wait, I thought they were next up.
Who?
The Commanders.
Next up to who?
That's all I heard, bro. Commanders next up. Commanders.
Next up to where?
The Sixers town, baby. Welcome. Enjoy your 36-plus roster.
Don't they have the oldest roster in the league now?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
That's
exaggerating,
crazy.
but like the average age is like 32 or something, dude. It's nuts.
That is insane.
How about you, Pierre? How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's been a long day, but excited to talk birds, man. Excited to talk birds.
Absolutely. So obviously this weekend is a big one. Keep getting these games, you know, but it's Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl rematch. I mean, we all remember what happened last year. Quell, you want to talk about BTA? That was some BTA. I mean, it still feels so close, but it's also so far away.
Are we done? Are you sure?
I was like, wait, what? But you know, it's just exciting. You know, this early in the season, both teams are clearly kind of getting their footing underneath them. But today also is Fran Duffy tweeted this out. It's the first time we've ever seen two quarterbacks face off in the regular season after winning a Super Bowl against each other. So it's kind of cool, this little rivalry that Jalen and Patrick have developed here. I was kind of thinking back earlier today just about the kind of journey it's been, but I remember that first game was a P's and Q's pod. We were talking on there about how Patrick Mahomes was able to get anything underneath on Jonathan Gannon, and I was losing my mind. And then Super Bowl comes around, right? And then that's the next matchup, and Jalen plays an amazing game. There's the fumble, and what was it? Field gate, whatever, the turf gate, whatever.
The slippery turf.
The slippery turf, the nonsense there, but also, Patrick
James
Mahomes.
Bradbury.
Huh?
James Bradbury.
Bad calls. Okay?
Look. On to better things and better days, okay?
Absolutely. So that's what we're getting to, right? So then we have that game. Then the next year, Eagles get matched up with the Chiefs again, rematch of the Super Bowl. And Jalen Hurts walks into Arrowhead and he wins. And he shows people what Jalen Hurts can do. Take the straitjacket off. Obviously, that wasn't in the conversation at the time, but a little bit of that there. Then
wait, that was the game. That was the game that afterwards Sirianni was walking in the tunnel, and he was like,
"Yeah, Chiefs fans!"
He was losing his mind.
Bang. Man, banging on opposing teams' walls like he owned the place.
He started his coaching career there, so maybe he felt some ownership. But then after that, you have the Super Bowl matchup that we just watched, and as we discussed, it was BTA. So now the count is officially 2-2. This is exciting, man. Who's gonna win the 5-game series here that we got? And obviously, I think we're gonna see more matchups. But we got.
Oh wait, you forgot. I think you forgot a game. You forgot the one in 2021 before the Super Bowl, before all of that.
No, he mentioned it.
Oh, you did.
The one where Patrick got everything underneath. It was a piece.
Oh, yeah.
So it's 2-2. No, you're good. So it's 2-2. We got a big one coming up. So how are you guys feeling going into this matchup?
I mean,
go ahead, you.
Parfton already gave us the great layout. I mean, it's hard to follow that, but just to give you some more additions onto what Parfton said. I mean, it's hard to not be prepared for a game. I mean, you talked about the 2-2 battle in Park, but this will be the 10th time if you don't count the playoffs, and 11th time if you don't count the playoffs, and 13th time all time these teams will meet, with the Eagles and Chiefs tied at 6-6 if you conclude the playoffs, 5-5 the season, 1-1 Super Bowl. Now this would be the first time we ever had a regular season matchup between two quarterbacks that have beat each other in the playoffs. I mean, beat each other in the Super Bowl and have had the opportunity to match up in the regular season, which was fun to hear. Like, dang, go all these Super Bowl matchups we see, but how often is it that a guy gets, as the kid said, Jalen, the get back? How often is it that these guys get some of that? The Eagles get some of the, have this opportunity in front of them. But I mean, just to lay it all out, Super Bowl champions doing these rematches, they're have a 7-2 record in the 9 times that these teams have played in the following year after a Super Bowl meeting. So things point towards the Eagles. Now, what makes things interesting is one of those two teams in that 7-2 happens to be the Eagles in 2023, where, I mean, hey, the Eagles went into Arrowhead, like you said, Parf, got a victory. Not something that a lot of people, it's not an easy feat to do, man, to say the least. So, I mean, it's hard not to be amped for this game. I got one for the Pierres. I tossed it to him with the Jalen Hurts, or Jalen Hurts can become the second quarterback in the NFL. I don't want to say NFL history. It sounds like we glazing them at that point. But the second quarterback in the NFL to beat Patrick Mahomes 3 straight times behind the Orless. I can't say that, man. He has too much aura. He kind of cold. But Joe Burrow, nonetheless. But hey, it's hard not to be amped for this game. A regular season matchup. The last time these two teams played in a regular season after a Super Bowl match, I said in this podcast and said to you guys, it's not the same thing. This is not revenge. This is just a regular season game. So you kind of got to try to keep the same energy. But like you said, Parv, the rivalry that is kind of buddy. I often think about that photo before the first Super Bowl with Jalen and Patrick looking at each other, just smiling. I feel like that'll be synonymous to them two forever.
Yeah, man. You guys laid it all out. I don't really have a lot to add, but it's interesting, man. It's really, really interesting and exciting this matchup coming up on Sunday, man. You think back to, like I said, when Jalen, it was his first full year as a starter, that 2021 game, the success he had against Steve Spagnuolo, and it's kind of every time the Eagles have played the Chiefs, it's kind of shown itself. Whether you want to talk about the Super Bowl in 2022, you look at that. A lot of people said that's Jalen's, best performance of his career. Then you jump to February, and like you said, part BTA beat down. I classify that game as 40-6. That was the final score for me. But yeah, man, it's extremely exciting to think about, man. Like just the journey of this Eagles team that they've taken. Starting, like I said, just 2021 when they played them for the first time, and then to now coming up on Sunday, having won a Super Bowl, lost a Super Bowl. It's exciting, man.
Yeah, I think you guys both just touched on it there a little bit, but when I was thinking about the rivalry, it is that, right? And it's cool that this is like you said, Quell. It's a budding rivalry between the two, and maybe it's bloomed at this point. They've played 4 games against one another, and they're 2-2 against each other. It's interesting because they're both NFC and AFC quarterbacks, right? And that inevitably, I'm not going to say always, but a lot of times it brings in the Super Bowl aspect of it. And so it's going to be cool looking back in years that like this is going to be a rivalry that probably defines this era of football as well, the Eagles and the Chiefs, man. And that's really cool. That's something that we should all appreciate and enjoy, because like we watched last year in the Super Bowl. Don't have your expectations that high for the defense again, because that was historical. Like that kind of domination doesn't happen, and especially against one of the best quarterbacks of all time. So these matchups are just going to be really fun to watch over the next couple of years, and I hope we get more of them. And yeah, I'm excited that Jalen gets to be part of this.
Is Jalen and Mahomes the new age Brady and Manning?
No.
It's
It's fun to think. I mean, it'll probably be closer to Brady or it could be Brady and Manning, probably Brady and Eli Manning. But I think the new age Brady and Manning. I mean, I know it sounds like a shade because I mean the conversation surrounding Eli Manning is so controversial. It's such an enigma. I mean, more so
you can't take those away from him.
You know my point. You know exactly where I stand with that.
It's like the Super Bowl W's, right? Like even Brady, when he says like if you could have a ring back, he's like, fools, like they beat us. The one he wants back is the one against Eli with like the helmet catch. You know what I mean? Like the Eagles.
That's a perfect season on the line right there. Which I mean, you can kind of sit here. I wonder if Patrick would say the same thing 5-7 years down the line, because wow, that was a perfect season.
No, understood. My point, what I'm trying to say is like they needed like a helmet catch to win that game, right? The Eagles came in and they've dominated in these matchups, right? Jalen Hurts has dominated in both matchups in the Super Bowl. Actually, in all the matchups, he's played extremely well. That's why it's semantics. I also understand what you're saying, but if Jalen makes more runs like this, I don't know why it can't be Peyton and Tom.
I don't think it's Peyton and Tom personally because it's too even. Like I personally think the modern day Peyton and Tom is Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, because Josh Allen is on the chase like Peyton was for so long, and eventually, hopefully, he's able to get the W.
No, I like that. No, that actually makes sense. I do understand your logic there, but I don't agree with the Eli comparison. But I agree with your logic on the Peyton one. I
can respect that.
Yeah, that's because that's a really good observation, because it's just like he can't get through the wall, and he's like one of the best quarterbacks out there, but he just cannot seem to get over that hump. That's a good one, Quell. Anyways, it's Thursday, so we do our we do our pregame preview, and what we're gonna have obviously is our. So how do we want to do this? Do we want to do the takeaways? Because last time we did major takeaways and we covered offense versus defense. Should we just jump into?
So I think we can.
I think that was a review pod that happened.
Yeah. So the takeaways, we can save those for the review.
Right. Yeah. It's been a long day, man.
It has, bro.
Okay, so we're gonna let's start with as we always do, our offense versus.
Well, I got injuries. I got injuries too,
Oh.
which we didn't hit on in the first game last Thursday, but I got those for pregame.
I mean, it shouldn't have been any, but knowing those two teams.
Yeah. So for the Eagles, just to start off here, Dallas Goedert, he's probably the biggest one. He has not practiced this week. He's dealing with a knee injury. Landon Dickerson, he left in the middle of last Thursday's game with a back injury. He was a full go today. He's on track to play on Sunday. Jalix Hunt, he was limited Wednesday, full go today. He's dealing with a hip injury. Will Shipley, I think he played about 7 or 8 snaps week 1, and then he came out. I think he has a broken rib. Tanner McKee, he has not practiced at all this week. I don't even think he's throwing. He has a thumb. Then just on Dallas Goedert, it's a sprained knee per Elliott Shore Parks. Like I said, I don't know if he's gonna play this week. He's missed 7 games. He missed 7 games in 2024. Also missed 3 in 2023 and 5 in 2022. That's 15 games missed in the last 3 seasons, bro. Like, it's an issue.
Is it something we've known though? Like, that's why they didn't want to
extend them.
Exactly. Like, this is exactly why, and it's sad because we talked about it in the preview pod. Like, Dallas Goedert, when he's healthy, is one of the most dominant tight ends in the game. But like you just laid out, Pierre, a season missed in what is it? What was it over the last 5 years?
Yeah, last 3 seasons, 15 games.
Sorry, 3 seasons. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's tough, man. So if he wants to come back,
almost missed an entire season worth of football, man.
Yeah, dude, they're definitely going to be looking for a tight end in the future because I don't know.
When did he even get hurt? Because did he get?
That's the question that everybody's asking. I mean, as a fantasy football player, it was a joke going around where it's like, yeah, if you have George Kittle, you were probably in the market for a tight end. You were searching the waivers hard on Tuesday, and you're an Eagle. I mean, you're a Dallas Goedert owner, and you're like, ha, go through waivers. We don't need that. And then you wake up Wednesday morning after waivers processes, you're like, what? My tight end's hurt, and he's not going to play? What's going on? So it's hilarious. It just like randomly happened, brother. Nobody knows.
All right, and then for the Chiefs, the biggest injury they're dealing with, wide receiver Xavier Worthy. He left, I think, midway through their Week 1 game against the Chargers with a separated shoulder. He didn't practice. Separated shoulder.
How? Did you see it?
I did.
It was a swift run into Kelsey.
Yeah, bro. They were running.
He ran into Travis.
Yeah,
they were running mesh, and Kelsey said his depth was off. And he leveled him. Like, they're both running, and Travis keeps running through, and Worthy his momentum stops, and he just hits the ground, bro. Like,
he's like 170 pounds. That makes sense.
Yeah, he got put on his ass because Travis was moving too, dude. It was nuts, dude. I saw that and I was like, oh, it was just a separated shoulder. He got lucky, dude. Like, that was a huge hit.
Yeah, he didn't practice on Wednesday. He was limited today. I know Andy Reid on Wednesday, he said that surgery wasn't being considered, and just that Xavier would miss the first practice of the week, but that he was making progress in his rehab. And I think today during practice they had him in a brace. It's a sleeve and probably a little bit of padding in the shoulder area. I wouldn't necessarily call it a brace, but yeah. I mean, if you ask me, I don't know if he's gonna be. I don't know if he's gonna be able to go. Yeah, I doubt it.
Separated shoulder, they'll. I don't know.
Tomorrow's gonna be huge in figuring this out. Yeah. I'm not sure. Based on everything that I'm saying, it seems like he's trending in the right direction, but
really,
it's hard to commit to it based on how everything initially turned out.
Guy, dude, he's a small guy. Like, just one bad hit again, and like with your shoulder, like. Separated shoulder can be fine, but if you damage the labrum that's in your shoulder, you need surgery. Otherwise, it's just going to pop out.
Yeah, and if he can't go, the Chiefs wide receiving corps, man, it's Juju Smith-Schuster, Hollywood Brown. What's the other tight end? Is it Jalen? Not Jalen Watson.
Tight end?
No, it's not.
Noah Gray.
Yeah, Noah Gray. Yeah,
Noah Gray, but there's a Watson.
Jalen Watson.
No, Jalen plays defense. I know who you're talking about. He played throwing the ball last week. It wasn't that good.
No, they got a Tyquan Thornton too.
Oh, actually, I have the depth chart up. I don't know why we're just guessing.
Justin.
Yeah, their room is very Eagles 2017-esque.
Yeah, I mean, so where we starting at outside of injuries? Because I'm excited to touch on the Chiefs' offense, man. Actually,
Let's start there then. Let's
it
start Chiefs
is
offense, Eagles
very,
defense.
it is
Oh,
very 2017-esque in terms of the talent at receiver. Not 2017 because we went to a Super Bowl. I will not allow Alshon Jeffrey.
I'm sorry. No, I meant the 2017-2018 season when Alshon and everyone was.
Okay,
but
yeah.
more
I
so,
get you.
like,
I get you. All right. I just had to make sure, man. Shavin give me PTSD with all
Come on
this
now.
Alshon Jeffrey slander. We won't have allow
Never,
that.
never. Hello, who are you talking to, Quell?
I know,
Like,
man. I say it is PTSD.
Maybe if you're talking to the guy to my right, he might not you, but the one one over.
I'm about to say me.
He might slander Alshon Jeffrey because he's not exciting enough or twitchy enough. But all appreciate Alshon Jeffrey always.
I like the big tall red zone targets. I'm not gonna hate on that.
They just got to run a 4-3.
Yeah. Just be fast.
But just to touch on this Chiefs offense a little bit, this draws my interest. First of all, starting with the fact that a Patrick Mahomes-led Chiefs team has never started 0-2, man. I mean, that's interesting, but hell, and this was a weird stat, but it's true. I had to go do some real digging for it, but I don't really care if he's never started 0-2 because prior to last week, he had never lost a game where he was down exactly 10 points when the team began their march back, and the Chargers were able to cut that streak off. So there's that. But it starts with the passing game and Patrick Mahomes, as we know. I mean, their short, quick game and things of that nature might as well be described as their passing game because, I mean, as their running game, I mean, the plan of attack, most of his passes have come off the quick game with him at 48.7% of his passes coming in between 0 to 9 yards. But when you talk about the Chiefs running game, abysmal, horrific. To give you guys some context as to how bad they were, Patrick Mahomes was the leading rusher on the day.
Pacheco owner.
Oh, yeah. I feel bad for you, brother.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I was the lowest scorer of the week. So,
buddy.
It's great stuff. Yeah. And AJ Brown. Pacheco and AJ Brown. I had a great week.
I'm praying for you, man. It should get better.
And it's so bad, bro. Mahomes dropped back 45 times in week 1. Like, that is an awful lot of dropbacks, man.
Awful lot, man. But I mean, here's why. I mean, to give you a short sample size and then an even larger sample size. Let's start with last game in general. Mahomes led the Chiefs in rushing. Hunt and Pacheco combined for 41 yards on 10 rushing attempts. So there could be an argument that they, quote unquote, got away from the run game. But why wouldn't you if in the last 9 games, a Kansas City running back has only one run of 15 plus yards? This includes the playoffs. Mm-hmm. If you want to include the larger sample size I was even talking about, the Chiefs have had 411 running back runs in a regular season in the playoffs since week 1 of last season. 23 of them have gone for 10 yards. 4 of them have gone for 15 yards. 2 of them have gone for 20 plus yards. So to give you some, to basically summarize it, they a lot of nothing. A whole lot of runs into the back of players on first and second down, and then third down, they pray to the whoever they worship. And Patrick Mahomes.
Oh.
Exactly. And Patrick Mahomes and his guys, they figure it out, man. But even as you mentioned, Pierre, with the whole Xavier Worthy thing, they've given a noticeable emphasis on wanting to throw the ball down the field this year. I mean, last year when we talked about these two teams prior to the Super Bowl, it was going to be death by 1,000 paper cuts, something similar to 2022. Vic has to be ready, unlike Jonathan, things of that nature. Well, there's a serious emphasis on wanting to throw the ball down the field. For some context in this area, in the preseason, which I mean, it's the preseason, but the Chiefs played Patrick and the starters a lot during the preseason. But his average depth of target during the preseason was 11. But you think that's something? Even after Xavier Worthy left the game last week, the average depth of target was still 7.5. So they were still trying to push the ball down the field. Hollywood Brown, I think he had an absurd amount of targets. It was like 16 or 19 or something like that. Just force feeding Hollywood the ball. Hollywood Brown, Tyquan Thornton. They still have guys who they want to stretch down the field with. It's just, are they good enough to make this happen would be the real
They
question.
don't have Tyreek Hill anymore. That's kind of, it's kind of a big thing of what their offense used to be. But to your point, that's been their messaging too. Throughout the offseason, they've just kind of said they want to be getting back to Patrick Mahomes' ball and throwing the ball deep and things like that. Pierre, I'll let you get into that before we get into our defense if you have anything to say.
Yeah, it just seems like over the last, I'll say 2 years, year or so, that's been kind of the story with this Chiefs offense, right? Like they haven't had the horses to play the type of ball that they want to play, like deep down the field passing and everything like that. And then, like we just outlined, like this week, they're more than likely going to be without Xavier Worthy. So it's kind of like, I don't know if they have the horses, man. Like it's way different than it was last week for the Eagles.
I'm glad you mentioned the last 2 years because that was also the case last year, where it was like the reason you give him a chance is because of the guy who's getting the ball after it's snapped, right? And that's what he did all of last year. Is he essentially willed them to victory? Like you had to and they got lucky a lot of times, and there were calls, whatever it might be, but he did what he needed to do to be able to win, and that's what we ask of our guy, and that's what he's willing to do. So you have to appreciate that. But
he is human though. He is human though.
He bleeds. But flipping to our defense, I'm glad to hear that they're struggling with running the ball because our run defense did not look great. Yeah, and obviously you have the Jalen Carter is not going to be is not playing in that game and whatever effect that had, and obviously guys are more gassed and things like that. But yeah, they had like a 5% efficiency rate in the run game. Like it was really 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 bad. So knowing that the Chiefs struggle with that, I hope the Eagles can use it as a game to kind of get back into things because it was, if not the worst, one of the worst run defense scores that Vic Fangio's ever had. So it's not sustainable. It's also not something that's regular for this team. And maybe the Cowboys are running the ball well again, but regardless,
I think a lot of that also had to do with the fact that Jalen Carter got ejected before any snap was played.
No, totally agree. But I want to say it's only one guy, but he's really, really good. One guy, and it changes everything a lot. But regardless, the Eagles have to perform better on the field, right? Like run defense, you can't let them run through you like that. And it didn't even look that bad live, to be honest with you. Did you think it looked that bad, Quell? I didn't. Honestly, I couldn't tell. Maybe it's the libations I had, but
it was the push. It just felt like they were getting minimum push. Or Dallas was getting maximum push. However you wanted to put it.
And the defense just did. Yeah, understood. So that I'm glad to hear that. I think this is going to be a game where the pass rushers have to get home quick because, like you guys outlined, they want to throw the ball deep. We have a corner that we're a little bit nervous about, getting beat like that. So obviously,
I'll say on Adoree, since we're on the topic, I don't know if this is the correct way to use this word, but I have less trepidation about Adoree this week than I did last week. Again, because not even that. It's just the Chiefs' wide receiving core. It is so bare. Like I don't. It's not
get hunted.
I mean, it's Andy Reid. Of course he can. It's Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. He can. It's just I don't know if the
Brown can he'll drop 3 of them, but he'll catch one. And sometimes all you need is one. Basically, so agreed. Correct use of trepidation, by the way. Nice drop. But I don't know. I'm still a little bit nervous about it. So I just think it's going to be important that the defensive line is able to get home quick. And we talked about it, Pierre. You outlined it. We were able to see some of the film afterwards, but after the game, you pointed it out that Uche had a really good day, and he was one of the highest graded pass rushers of the week. So he had a really good week. Nolan was going back and forth and had some and had some good moments and had some rougher moments. Our boy Jordan Davis had one, missed the tackle, but almost had it. So
Dog,
that-
the stadium got so loud when they thought Jordan almost sacked him.
And then it's like how fast it happened. It was like, brother, man. And I kind of good drop, Parthy. I had that written down too because I believe Mahomes had got sacked twice last week. But I mean, of course, as we mentioned, the Super Bowl, Eagles got to him 9 times without sending one singular blitz, not one. And then you go fast forward to this week, and Dak Prescott gets sacked 0 times. And I mean, you're getting the pressure, but you're not.
And we blitzed
finishing.
a lot.
Exactly.
We blitzed a lot for Fangio. The last play was a blitz. The 4th down was a blitz.
Does that count as a what do they call it? Emotional blitz?
That they were. It's so funny you said that because they were discussing that on the Philly special as well, where they were like, I think the thing about emotional blitzes is it's only an emotional blitz if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was a calculated chess move.
But no, I think the difference this year, even if you want to look at from February, right? Like we know the Eagles have had a ton of departures on defense: Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, Chauncey, and everybody like that. This year, like it's as simple as you said, part. There's finishing the plays, right? And Jalen Carter being back, he's going to help that. But again, they have to finish. If they get home, they got to finish, right? I think up front, Chiefs, they can be had. I don't know if it's going to be to the level of it was in a Super Bowl, but you look at Juwan Taylor and his inconsistency in pass protection. You look at, I'm going to try and say his name. Y'all tell me if I say it right. Kingsley Suamataia. I think that's how you say it. His inconsistency in pass protection. If you line Jalen Carter up over him, who he's going to have a lot to prove after what word do I want to use? The insanity, I'll say. I don't want to disparage him. The insanity that he displayed week 1. He's going to have a lot to prove. So yeah. So I think that's true. But I think they can have some success there, man, up front.
Finishing is exactly it, man. Like and Dak is slippery. He's known for that. Mahomes is even slipperier.
Oh
so
like he doesn't.
It's like that's one of his superpowers, man.
Absolutely.
I think another big thing. Yeah, I think another big thing in this game is just going to be the discipline for the Eagles. I think they had 9 penalties for over 100 yards against the Cowboys, bro. Like they have to.
And
play
a lot of
smarter.
that was, I mean, both Vic and because a lot of them came on the defensive side of the ball. Vic and Nick got asked about it, and both of them emphasized that it wasn't the refs being petty. It wasn't anything of that nature. It was just them. And I mean, I don't remember exactly the name of the guy who's going to be calling the game this week, but he's huge on defensive penalties, offensive holding, and defensive penalties. So, y'all got to get it together.
Fangio talked about Mahomes flopping also during his presser.
Yeah,
I got the quote. He said, "Always be aware when you're near the sideline for all those points you just brought up. 1, the quarterback flopping, going out of bounds. 2, the quarterback lowering his shoulder, tries to get the last piece of business in there. You have to play with good bent knees and be ready for anything that happens. But Mahomes is the ultimate competitor, and it doesn't surprise me to see him do that."
Yeah, because it was corny though. It was so corny, bro. It's like you waddle out of bounds every time, and this time you're like, "Yeah, I'm lowering the shoulder to let you know."
It's
I gotta set the tone for my team, though.
Yeah, I did this, guys. Look at me. I am down.
What's the one? I'm here.
I'm here. I'm here. Where were you in February?
But it's like it's very corny because if you remember, I think that game was last year, year before last, but against the Raiders, where he was going out of bounds and like you have to literally let up. You can't hit him. It's going to be a flag, and he knows he's going to get those calls. So like it's easy for him to just lower his shoulder and do like cornball stuff like that. It's
shades of Kenny Pickett in college. You guys remember that?
The fake
slide. Yeah.
That shit was kind of hard though. I'm not gonna lie. I was like,
it was so hard it got banned the next day.
I know. I was like, it was cool.
It's loser football. It's loser football.
It is.
Bro.
It is. No, I agree. Like, if you're gonna be the guy who takes the contact, fine, then do it. But you get the easiest flag in the league, dude. We saw. I mean, there was the hit out of bounds to Jalen at the end of the game last week, where it's like, okay, it's a
two of them, dude. Like the one at the end of the game, and then one happened. I think it was like a first or second quarter, where it's like, come on, man, how does he not
They're
get
borderline? But if you give him to one guy, you have to give him to everybody, and that's where like everybody just feels like it's unfair. Is because it's like that you open the door.
It's
You
like the
open the door.
basketball players, people like
Mhm.
LeBron, because you're 6'8", you're not going to get those same foul calls where if you're 6 feet and the guy put a hand on you, you fly back 2 feet. It's call the game
LeBron
until
does
game
his share of
deserves to be
flopping,
called.
so
I
it's
mean,
okay.
yeah, but you have
Makes
to
up
if they're
for
not
it.
going to call it. Call the game how it deserves to be called. But just before we transition to opposite side of the ball, the one thing that I think that has to get done on the Eagles standpoint is getting off the field. Getting off the field, man. The Chiefs were 5 for 14 on third downs last week. Horrific. But they also were 3 for 3 on fourth down. So if they get in position, they'll be able to go for it. They will be able to keep the chains moving and stay on the field. And I mean, the Eagles defense, specifically in the second half, it was a lot of bend, not breaking. It's a lot of bending, not breaking. But this is the kind of team where they're willing to take with the bends because they'll take what the defense gives you and kind of work their way down to the point of success.
Great point. Side note, hell of a play. Oh my God, they missed the kick, but hell of a play by Josh Jacobs there. He was running the ball to run down the clock. He gets tackled and he's on the ground calling the timeout. And he stopped it with like 2 seconds left. That was smart football. That's the stuff that gets Nick Sirianni excited. I'll tell you one thing. He'll have a clip of that tomorrow, I bet you. But they missed the kick, so come on, dude. You gotta be better. Anything else on our defense versus their offense?
Yeah, I think we covered everything I got on that front.
All right.
Time to be excited about as friend of the pod, Shio Kapadia calls him Big Uncle.
Big Uncle. Exactly. All right. So getting to the other side of the football, our offense versus their defense. Just looking back at our offense last week, it feels like, and I can't, help but just feel like it seems like they just hadn't had a lot of reps together in live game time. They didn't play in the preseason, and it just felt like there was like some things that were really clicking, and some things where they need to get them ironed out. I
think you saw it a lot up front with the offensive line, like a lot of missed assignments and blown assignments and things like that also.
What's his name? Patula outlined that, though. I mean, it's crazy. I didn't think he would say that publicly, but they asked him about running straight into heavy boxes, and he was like, I mean, which would make sense because they showed a lot of too high shells and then rotated down, but you wouldn't necessarily consider them to be too high. Heavy boxes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he just said that, I mean, we just didn't block him right a lot of the time. So it's getting that figured out, which, I mean.
And not to cut you off, but on that heavy box thing, like, number one is week 1, and number 2,
exactly.
Like,
that's what
we said. Yeah, we said all offseason, like the Chiefs kind of put the recipe out there, right? Like load the box, stop Saquon, make Jalen throw and everything like that. So I don't necessarily think
not even just that, kind of in a similar light to how Dallas did it, how I just mentioned, but show too high, rotate down to stop Saquon. Like it's kind of like a chess match, to say the least, with Jalen Hurts to kind of bait him into making the wrong decision.
It's a borderline heavy box, though, right? Because you're bringing down a DB instead of an extra D lineman or an extra linebacker or something. So I think that changes the equation. I saw a lot of pushback on that comment as well, but I thought it was fair. And I also, like you said, Pierre, it's week 1. And what I was going to say is I just was extremely unmoved either way. Like I just kind of was like, okay, like they're just figuring things out. I would have been fun for us to see a little bit more fireworks when we were there, but I was like, okay, it looks like they're just doing what they needed to win this game. AJ said he wasn't injured, so which could be true. Obviously, who knows, but they were also double covering him like essentially the entire game. They wanted
there's a lot of zone.
Mm-hmm.
So
and even when he got man, he didn't have single man. Like exactly. He just they had somebody above him at all times. So it just was like you would like to see Patullo scheme up ways to get him the ball a little bit earlier, but then it's also the question of like, is he injured and he's not saying it? So who knows?
And we always talk about like the Eagles' talent on offense in terms of it being Smitty, Saquon, Dallas, AJ, from a perspective of like straight one-on-one, like our guys are better than yours. But at the same time, and I think, and also I think the Eagles coaching staff, they know that, they're aware of the talent that they have at their disposal. But I think at the same time, like that doesn't mean they shouldn't or aren't like don't have to be like strategic about that talent and how they use them, right? Like I don't think there should ever be a game where Smitty and AJ aren't a focal point on the offensive end. And like I get it, like we just outlined this week one, and they won the game and everything like that. I get it 100%. But like as the season progresses, and I highly doubt this is going to be the case, but operating like that, living like that, it's not sustainable at all.
I mean, so it kind of leads me into a question I was just about to ask you guys. We talked last week about Tulo and getting the quote unquote help involved and the guys that we're not accustomed to seeing involved in the offense, getting the helping get the ball rolling. Do you think that this was more towards game plan, or did Dallas kind of give the league the blueprint as to how to stop the big three? Because I could be wrong, but have you ever seen a game where Saquon was kind of bottled up as a rusher, but neither receiver were big in yardage or touchdowns, things of that nature? We had a running joke where, I mean, we're essentially foolproof, where if you decide to stop the run, we're going to throw the ball. And if you decide to stop the throw, we're going to run the ball. But did Dallas kind of figure it out and give the league something to look towards to? And if so, how do you guys think we should counter this?
I think it's somewhere in the middle, honestly. And it's somewhere in the middle on what you said too, Pierre. I'm being a centrist here. I think that to your point, Pierre, Devontae and AJ have to be the focal point of your offense. There's no question about that. But you also need to have the other guys involved, because it's unsustainable to only have an offense only revolving around them too. Because one, injuries can always be a concern, and two, teams can figure out a way to key in, like what Quell just brought up, where it's like if you're only going to go through 2-3 guys, you can find a way to make an offense unbalanced. And that's why you need to be able to utilize some of those other receivers. Now, there shouldn't be a game where those guys are out targeting your stars, right? But Quell, I think maybe Dallas had a good game plan, but I also think, like I said, I don't think this offense is fully put together either. I think they're still figuring things out, figuring out how to most efficiently work with this new group. So I don't know. I think we'll see as the season progresses. Maybe I'm just being purposefully not alarmist, and I'm just being the opposite of what I was last year. But this time they won, Quell. All right. So I feel a little bit better.
They were doing a lot of winning in 2023. And I mean, granted, you were right to feel the way you did, but I'm like, they won the game. And you're like, if you're satisfied with the way they won that game, I don't know what to tell you. I'm like,
I wasn't satisfied, and I knew it. I was like, this is snake oil. This is snake oil here. But yeah, I just think I keep coming back to, I just don't know if this offense is like fully like formed. I think is the better way to put it.
And go ahead, Q.
Before you go, Pierre, to your point, Parth, I think you're right. And it's kind of scary. As I was listening to Kevin Patullo talk this week, I was kind of getting giddy listening to it. But now listening to your point, it kind of made me step back and reevaluate this for a second. Starting with the point with him saying the first 15 plays, they weren't scripted. They just out there doing their thing. And when you listen to him talk, the one thing that Kevin continued to bring up was emphasis on communication, in-game adjustment, basically just learning and adapting on the fly. And I mean, it's kind of something that's it seems to be sticking in the locker room. Jalen Hurts even mentioned it in his presser, the emphasis on communication and be able to make in-game adjustments, things of that nature. But it's kind of reminiscent of what Pierre said last year of the Kellen Moore offense of, we don't have an identity, we're going to do what works. This feels a lot closer to that than what Kellen was doing. And I mean, it's kind of bringing up some of those same concerns that we had last year with Kellen that never really matriculated because the run game worked. But yeah, sure, we're going to do what worked. And it worked this week against Dallas. And I mean, it was fun in 2022 when we were the whole, It don't matter how we get it done. We're just going to win the games, however we got to do it. But like we also kept saying, the team needs an identity. And I feel like you guys said, going through these games, the identity is supposed to be. Nick said when in the meeting doing the thing that came out, the video, the offense is supposed to run through Devonta and AJ. But then they getting 4 targets apiece in the game. I don't know. It's cool that we're this learn on the fly, adapt to what you're doing. Offense, it kind of feels very reminiscent to what Vic does defensively. But I don't know. It's a bit concerning if you ask me to.
Totally so to answer your question, I don't know if I'd say Dallas kind of put out the script or, they what was the wording that you used? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
they leave the blueprint.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they gave the blueprint. And it's kind of because of what both of you guys said, right? Like, number one, this was Kevin Patullo's first game as offensive coordinator. I still think he's kind of trying to find his footing with this personnel. Granted, like we always say, he's been around them for a long time, but it's different when you're the head man, right? And, like you talked about, Q, like the first 15 plays weren't even scripted. Like that was just, them doing their thing, right? And the offense operated very, very smoothly. So I think, it's just as simple as them kind of, I guess, hunkering down and kind of having that kind of script and focused approach. I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be okay.
But I think I tend to agree with Quell in terms of I think they need an identity, right? Because even at the beginning of the game, did Devontae and AJ really have targets on those first couple plays? I don't remember it, right? And then there's a Will Shipley screen, and it's cool.
It's working.
It's working, but is this always going to work? Is this what's our MO?
But that's my thing. I don't think it's gonna be like that every week.
I'm just concerned that
why did they do that?
Lost into
it's
the internal. We always talk about the game within the game. I just don't want him to get too lost into the game within the game and remember, hey, I got to get my dudes the ball.
Exactly. Yeah. I my feeling in that first 15 plays, right, was just okay, Kevin's just getting in his bag. He just wants to show people oh, this is what I can do. But at the same time, yeah, dude, but save those. A change up of a Will Shipley screen could maybe even go for more than what it did, right? So it's just yeah, I think Quell put it perfectly. I didn't think about it that way, but I want them to have an identity, and it feels like they don't have one yet. But again, it's week one, and they're gonna have to figure things out, and that's just that's the name of the game. So, how do you guys feel about us going against this Chiefs defense that kind of got torched last week?
It should have been a big Dallas Goedert game, man. It pisses me off.
Mm-hmm.
This was a prime big Dallas, which is crazy because last week was big. I think he led the team in targets and receptions. This was a big Dallas Goedert game because and we love to talk about how Jalen doesn't attack middle of the field, but this is a big middle of the field game. If you watch what happened to them last week, the Chargers absolutely tortured them in the middle of the field. Hold on, I had the note somewhere. Here it goes, where the Chiefs, not even just in the middle of the field, but just slot in general. We date back to last year, the Chiefs rate 32nd in success rate versus allowed the slot receivers. Well, that continued into this year where Chamari Connor, the nickel cornerback, got targeted 6 times, gave up 6 catches. So that middle of the field area, that intermediate game, I'm interested to see how it works because, as we know, the Eagles don't really use that area because we got dudes. They did last week, so hey, there's that. But so without Dallas Goedert, what's the game plan? Do we see more shifting around of Devonta and AJ into the slot to be able to have them attack that intermediate area? What exactly is the plan of attack? Or are we going to try and stick square pegs and round holes and attack the boundary?
It'll be interesting to see because they ran a ton of 12 personnel last week, 12 and 13.
Yeah.
And 13 because, they had Granson playing fullback, but tight end. So technically 13 personnel. That's a good question, Quell, because every Chiefs game is it should be a good Dallas Goedert game. Given how they struggle, they always just seem to struggle against tight ends. I think they're gonna have to try to target the middle of the field more, and I think they tried a little bit. They had AJ on some inbreakers, but I think there needs to be some creativity around that too. It can't just be like, hey AJ, go run a dig, like you know what I mean? Like let's
Gotta
have
scheme your
somebody
guys open.
underneath going out and putting the corners in distress and not knowing what they should choose. So I'm hoping they just try to target the middle of the field, because Jalen also showed he was willing to target the middle of the field a little bit more on Monday. It wasn't necessarily like deep targets, but he was throwing it over the middle. It wasn't something he was like actively avoiding. So it'll be interesting to see, but I would think that they're going to just try to target the middle of the field with the receivers now. I don't know how the only outbreaking approach is just going to be successful against this defense.
I mean, if
and
they
to you
do
guys'
a lot
point,
of McDuffie on Brown, maybe.
True.
And to you guys' point, like, it kind of goes back to what I was saying before, where it's like, yeah, you have the talent. Yeah, AJ is a top 5 receiver. It's easy to say, you can line him up, he's going to win in any one-on-one situation. But again, you have to be creative. You have to be strategic about the way you utilize them. And, like you said, just telling them, hey, go line up, run a dig, run a slant. That's not strategic, right? Like, you got to scheme them open. It's easy to manufacture touches for a guy like AJ.
Certainly, man. But I guess it comes down, which it seems like Kevin Patullo is a bit more willing to do, but it kind of comes down to the whole approach of my guy. Like you said, my guys are better than your guys. And I mean, if you look at this Chiefs secondary, it's kind of the same situation as their wide receiver core. Well, you got McDuffie, you got Jalen Watson. I mean, I guess Brian Cook, was a big Pierre guy, man. But I mean, it's a lot of I guesses when you talk about some of these guys. So
even the other safety, Jaden Hicks, he got beat for I think 2 touchdowns last
that's
week.
the guy from Washington, right? Washington
State. He replaced Justin Reed,
which is hard to do. I mean, you're talking about an all-pro player, so like,
didn't Justin Reed replace Eric Berry?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy, bro. That's a crazy line now to try to replace, bro. That's 2 all-pro safeties, dog. That's nuts.
Yeah. This should be a big time 11 personnel game, man. Big time. Especially if they're going to take the same route that they did in the Super Bowl in terms of loading the box and daring Jalen to beat them with his arm. They got to throw the ball.
But do you think they stay stubborn like that?
That's literally what I was about to ask next. Is like, do you think because now there's 2 Super Bowls where Jalen has absolutely aired it out on them? In every game, Jalen has been successful passing the ball. Are they just going to keep being stubborn, or are they going to try to take away the pass?
When we just talked about how their secondary is, maybe it just might be wiser. And it's crazy to say this out loud, but again, it's like another NBA reference. The Sixers just dropped something that got me a little excited. They seen Embiid, no knee brace, no nothing. They pulling me back in.
We're made for this, Clay. We're made for this.
But I mean, it's kind of like the basketball reference of, look, do you really want Kawhi Leonard or Giannis Antetokounmpo to score 50 points? No, but I'd rather that than you score 30 and everybody else got 25 and everybody else is beating me. So maybe it's an approach of, look, we don't have the dudes in the secondary to stop what they could do on the outside. So just let Saquon, just hope to contain him. Let him win, but hope to contain him. That's better than getting the ball thrown all over our head. And this I don't want to call it sustainable, but the Chiefs' run defense isn't bad. Like, they held Omari and Hampton to 3.2 yards per carry last week. I believe the metric was 3.6 on the game, but that accounts in for 39 Justin Herbert scramble yards, which leads me to the whole Jalen Hurts has to continue, just like the Super Bowl and just like last week, has to continue to be willing to be Jalen the runner, because that can and will impact the game unless they decide or figure out a way that can limit him as the runner, which Steve Spagnuolo hasn't really been shown. Even when you look back at some of the other mobile quarterbacks that they played, the Lamar, the Josh Allens, he hasn't really been shown. He hasn't shown that he's willing to kind of dedicate somebody to slowing that down. It's just pressures, simulated pressures. See if I can speed up your clock, make you beat me as a passer, nonetheless. So it's possible he goes in with the same game plan. I don't know. Like you said, Pierre and Parv, it's 2 Super Bowls in a row, 3 games. I think it's I heard something from PFF, which, I mean, you can take PFF grades lightly, but the Chiefs in the last 4 or 5 meetings against the Eagles to have a defensive grade of like a 54.8. Like they haven't been good defensively against the Eagles. So he has to figure something out.
And one of the other things that caught my attention this week, just doing review work of the game and everything like that, and we talked about it on the review pod, but just Jalen's decisiveness as a runner, right? Like he wasn't shuffling the feed, he wasn't looking at the rush. When it was time to go, that brother was gone.
Yes, there were. I mean, maybe it's just me being an ass about it. There were a few times when I went back and watched the film where I'm like, come on, man, heat it up. But I only went back. I went back and did that with malicious intent because that whole chart that came out of Jalen Hurts time to throw, average time to throw, and things of that nature.
Wait. I got a question. When did the ADOT stat? When did that become the barometer of good or bad quarterback play? Please tell me. Tell me.
Why are you listening to Twitter, Pierre?
No, because it kind of got under my skin a little bit.
I know.
And I know it shouldn't have. It shouldn't have. But it did.
You're talking to no profile picture guys, bro. What are you doing? Come on. This is something you tell me. This is what you tell me, brother. I'm telling you what you tell me.
These things have space in the world of sports. I don't think they should be the end all be all. Yeah. Like it's cool to know average depth of target. Are you being checked down, Charlie? What can we do? Are you leaving meat on the table? But add context, man.
But it's like, who cares if he is? If you're winning, who cares?
Because the question is also, is he leaving plays on the field? Right? Because I do think that's fair. Because even some of the yeah, but like you can. That's football. If you go to a lock, you think Sirianni's just like, hey, dude, you're winning. Hell yeah, man. Let me give you a high five.
Of course he isn't. But brother, I'm a fan.
Yeah, but like you also want your team to succeed, and they're winning. They're winning until they're not.
Exactly.
I mean, it's exactly what happened to the Chiefs.
No, I get it.
And I don't want to
just that. I look at it as the equivalent of the whole, which is why I know how you guys feel about Brock and it's product of the scheme. I feel like this is why I feel about Brock compared to Jimmy G, because like, yeah, you could operate within the scheme and have success, but if you're leaving plays on the table compared to somebody who I see he's operating the scheme exactly how I fall asleep and envisioned it, it's a big difference between the quarterback play you get, no matter what the stats say.
Agreed. It's look, at the end of the day, it depends on what kind of offense you want to run. If you want your offense to be offense-centric, then you want a guy like Brock Purdy. But if you want something else and you want a guy with some more juice. But I with the average depth of target, whatever. Yeah, I think he was really decisive as a runner. I think there were a couple pass plays that were potentially left on the field, but it's the name of the game. And I agree, Pierre, they won, but I also want them to do better because like that wasn't, I'm not going to sit here and lie to myself and be like, that was a good game because it wasn't. Like that wasn't up to the Eagles standard. They just put 40 up in the Super Bowl, right? So like you can do better. And I can expect.
So let me ask you this. Do you think you would have the same attitude towards it if Saquon broke one of those like 20, 30-yard runs that he seemingly broke every game last year and they scored 31 points?
Probably not, because it just didn't feel like there was the one. Maybe you have two explosive plays, so you feel a little bit better, but the only other explosive play was the Jahan catch, right? We talked about it. Like there were no pass plays between 10 yards and 50 yards, right? Like that's it. That disparity is it can't happen. It's too much.
It's not a sustainable world to live in.
Exactly, and that's exactly where my criticism comes from, because it's like, yeah, you're right, we won, but I want us to keep winning, and that's where my concern comes. But again, I mean, we keep circling back to it. It's week one. You have to be patient.
Playing your best football this week.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to.
And I think that's kind of the name of the game. The first 2-3 weeks. Well, I'll say first 4 weeks of the season, right? Just win. Whatever. No matter how it looks. If they still look like this week 8, 9, 10, then I'll be worried.
100%.
Red flags. Definitely some 100%. Red flags.
But honestly, like my line, I want to see market improvement in the offense every week. It's not about like, week 8, and I get it. You take some steps forward, some steps back, but I want to see, like Quell pointed out, I want to see this offense begin to pull together an identity. That's what's missing. And so, like, hey, if they lose a game, but it's like, hey, they played like Eagles football and they it was like right there and something didn't go wrong, something didn't go right, I can accept that. But I want to see steps in the right direction, right? Because you want this to be sustainable and you want them to be playing their best football, honestly, in January, in December and January and February.
You're right. But for me, brother, just win. I don't care how it look, gang, just win.
He just wants to see Jalen Hurts cross his arms and just be like, that's all he wants. He doesn't care about anything else. That the game's a success then.
It's a middle ground to be found here, man. Because like I said earlier on, and Parf ended up being right, but that was my whole point in 2023, man. Just win, and they were 10-1 and finding ways to win games. And Jalen Hurts was coming back from 10 points down every week, and we were unstoppable until we weren't. So yeah, just win, but 1% better every day.
Absolutely. That's my point. I just want to see them get a little bit better, find who they are, and just like get back to playing confident Eagles football, because last game was confident, but it didn't feel like Eagles football. It just felt like
it felt like kind of what I said in the pregame pod. I thought it would just be a look. It's an emotional night. We got a lot going on. Not everybody's healthy. Just get out of here with a dub. Tucked between our legs.
Fair. And this week will tell us. So, I think we covered both sides there. I mean, do you guys have anything else, or should we get into our predictions or matchups?
We can also touch on just a little bit before we get out of here the additions of Tank Bigsby and Za'Darius Smith. I know they just to start here on Bigsby. It seems like they've been pushing that this is only about him as a return. This is not anything to do with the running back room, blah blah blah, stuff like that.
I think it's all blasé.
Yeah, I don't think you trade for a running back like Tank Bigsby and you're not gonna try and use him as a running back. Like I get it, and like I get it. The return rules and everything like that. It's a running back's game and everything like that. I understand that, but at the same time, like Tank this is just my opinion. Tank is a really good number 2, number 3 running back, man.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like I've been outlining to you guys the entire time. I don't know why you guys want them to hate AJ Dillon so bad, but I don't think they hate AJ Dillon. I think they're content with their running back room. Now, A, is Howie Roseman. If you got the opportunity to add a dumb, talented player, he's going to do it. B, I mean, yeah, they gave up 3 picks. The Eagles still have 10 picks left. So them giving up them 2 picks, they not losing.
I don't think it has anything to do with AJ. I don't think it has anything to do with AJ. My only issue with AJ, honestly, is the fumbles. Right? Like I'm an AJ Dillon fan, but I just want him to hold on to the damn ball, and he hasn't done that on the Eagles. So I think that's. Or did he have a fumble in the preseason? I can't
remember. I don't think so.
Okay.
I think against the Browns there was a play where I think there was a tip pass or a fumble or something, and he knocked it.
Something like that. That's what it was. Yeah, I think it was against the Browns. A good memory. But to me, Quell, I see this just as the Will Shipley injury might be a little bit longer than expected, and they don't have a ton of running back.
How long is AJ Dillon post? AJ Dillon's on a 1-year deal, right?
Yeah,
Tank is still on his rookie
and the injury
deal.
Agreed. That's kind of my point. Is it's just like this is a look to the future. That's why I was saying they were yapping about kick returner this, kick returner that. Like you're not just trading 2 picks for a kick returner. I'm sorry, and
maybe for this year, but
2026
and
I think exactly. You're trading for a young running back. Like you don't have to put up some facade.
And I think they're also aware of AJ Dillon's injury history too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Saquon's. Yeah.
I mean, injury history is putting it very generous. AJ Dillon, he was historically really healthy until he finally got hurt at the end of the season 2 years ago with the stinger, and then missed the entire season last year.
That's true. It was a stinger.
He was historically healthy, but I mean, stay ready. He ain't got to get ready.
Didn't he have a hamstring issue or something?
I mean, I don't think it cost him.
For some reason, I remember some lower body issues that
he did have a hamstring, but I don't think it cost him to miss any games.
Okay. Yeah. I just don't see an issue with it. And Saquon has an injury history himself, so he was crazily healthy last year with the amount of touches that he got. So obviously, praying that all continues. But football is not just about prayers. You got to prepare too. Right?
What Howie Roseman say, hope is not a strategy.
Exactly.
I would never forget that quote. It's a bar.
And then with Za'Darius Smith, I think it's just to juice up the pass rush. Obviously, Azeez Ojulari is not.
Say it, Pierre. Say it, Pierre. Say it, Pierre.
What am I saying?
Hashtag.
I'm not
Not
gonna say
good.
I'm not gonna say he's not good, man.
It's because he was Pierre's guy. You're not gonna throw him away like the new. You got a new toy, Pierre. Za'Darius Smith is coming.
I don't know, man. It's disappointing. It's very, very disappointing. But I think it's just like we said, man. It's just another case of Howie Roseman kind of trying to exhaust all resources to make this team better.
I'll say it for him. He's a hashtag not good. Oh my god. Oh my god. Doing backflips to not have to say he's not good, brother. Not good. Not Bryce Huff bad. Not good. Okay.
Can you believe Bryce Huff actually still didn't record a defensive snap last week? I mean, not snap, defensive stat. I think bro played like 54 snaps and didn't record one defensive stat. Brother.
He might be the real snake oil salesman. He might be the snake oil salesman. I think Za'Darius Smith is just here to beef up the pass rush. Honestly, I think it's just about like, hey, let's make sure we got edge depth. And Uche played well, and Za'Darius Smith is a talented, accomplished player, and
we know 9 sacks last year.
Yeah, he still got some juice. If you go back and look at some of his tape from his time in Detroit, he still got some. It's like, the unction.
What's the meme with the dude when he's sitting on the ground? Still got it. If you seen him in a locker room, he looked like an unk too.
Everyone.
Wait. You know what that just made me think of? Do y'all remember we signed Robert Quinn? You remember he showed up to the locker room? Bruh fit was prime. Oh, he had a leather jacket, black shirt with like the what was it, like dark green pants?
Should have known it wasn't gonna work right there. Bro was dressed like he was heading to the retirement home tomorrow.
The retirement home was crazy. That was a tough year, man. Robert Quinn year. Did another guy he recorded a sack at the end, right?
I think so.
At the very end.
Yeah, he got a sack in there at the end. But I mean, it's just nice moves on the margins. I think we're still all kind of waiting for some kind of.
I will say also on Za'Darius before we move on. I like the fit in Fangio's defense because this is a guy who has a little bit of versatility. He can kick inside from time to time.
He's the Brandon Graham.
Yeah. And I think BG, he just started a new pod on PHLY. I think it's called Unblockable or something like that. But he
you got a pod? They gave him a sound pod. That's cool, man. I gotta check it out.
Brother, make sure you have your volume like all the way low when you listen because he's screaming in the mic.
But I think BG, he said it on the pod. He was like, Za'Darius is like just like him, just a little bit taller.
Interesting. Oh, nice pull. I didn't know about the pod. All right. So matchups to watch
and predictions. Matchups to watch. I'm going to take the cop out like Pierre did last week. But it's fun if you ask me. It's very fun. I need Andy Reid versus Vic Fangio. The Eagles ran damn near more quarters than Vic Fangio has ever did in his entire career. It ranked near the top in terms of how often he ran quarters in the Super Bowl. The goal was just to keep everything in front of them, especially once you went up a certain amount. Just stay in quarters, let your back end do the communicating, and don't allow nothing big. Keep the lead and let the clock melt, things of that nature. Well, we talked about the Chiefs offense who has emphasized wanting to throw the ball down the field. Of course, quarters is meant to prevent throwing the ball down the field, but as we also continue to talk about, do the Eagles have the personnel to make that happen? It's interesting to hear Vic talk during his presser about why the snap distribution at safety played out the way it did. It sounds like that Sidney is supposed to be the base corner. And Dallas plays so much 11 personnel that it essentially made it a nickel and dime game, which nickel belongs to Andrew. And then, of course, in dime, Andrew drops down to the slot corner, and it's both of them. So there's that. But seeing exactly how Vic wants to respond to them, because I also expect them to make it, and despite the limited receivers, an 11 personnel kind of game to try to stretch the field, to try to make these young cornerbacks communicate. This is a hole that wasn't there in the Super Bowl. And when you listen to some of the Chiefs players talk, they feel like things were this close to working in the Super Bowl. It just pass rush, 9 sacks, no blitzes. You're talking about the Eagles front who didn't get home at all, and secondary with young pieces. So it's kind of like I don't want to call it a mismatch, but something Vic Uncle has his hands full, to say the least.
I am disappointed in you. You gave Pierre you gave Pierre shit last week, and this week he's like, "Oh,
I gave him hell just because of the fun of it.
I'm gonna choose the coaches matchup. I think the coaches are super fun to watch." All right, buddy, you get their D line versus Patrick Mahomes.
Oh my gosh,
that's what you got.
Secondary versus Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, there you go. I gave it to you. I can't stand for it, bro. No football nerds. I'm just kidding. Do you want to just give your other side as well, and then Pierre can give his, and I'll give mine.
What prediction?
Yeah, or no.
My other side of the ball. My other side. Oh, okay. And on the other side of the ball, my matchup to watch will be Landon Dickerson against Chris Jones. I mean, of course, we know Landon banged up, but Landon was banged up heading into the Super Bowl last year, allegedly. Mm-hmm. So what does this matchup look like? Not full strength Landon Dickerson against Chris Jones, who he should be ready to go. He admitted himself he was the reason that the game went the way it did last week, at least the final scramble. He moved inside instead of staying outside and having to play contain. Yeah. So he should be fired up and ready to be better this week. So I'm interested to watch that.
So I'll go here. Just to start out, I'm gonna go Moro Ojomo versus Kingsley Suamataia because Jalen Carter usually takes the center and right guard. We talked all off season about Moro Ojomo and how him replacing Milton Williams and it's his breakout year and everything like that. Well, week 1 we didn't really hear or see much from him, and it's kind of surprising considering Jalen Carter was out of the game. You would have thought he would have kind of made his presence more known. So that's my matchup for the Eagles defense versus Chiefs offense, and then Eagles offense versus Chiefs defense. I'm gonna go AJ Brown versus Trent McDuffie, bro. Like we've outlined it. They gotta get him the ball. That's what I'll say. They just
little machismo.
Yeah, and we've seen it every time they've played them. Like AJ, he kind of can have his way against McDuffie. So get AJ the ball.
All right. I'm gonna stick with the trenches for my Eagles defense versus Chiefs offense. I'm gonna go right next to you. I'm gonna go with Jalen Carter versus Creed Humphrey because
that's a big one.
You don't want to go Jalen Carter versus himself.
That's basically what I was about to get into. I don't think he was able to show it last week. I think he's probably just about as pissed as anybody else because he was like, dude, he spit at me first. I got kicked out of the game. He's probably livid. I think he's ready to.
As BG put it, drooling at the mouth to get out there.
Exactly. Oh yeah, fired up. And then on the other side of the ball, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Jalen Hurts versus Nick Bolton because we talked about the importance of targeting the middle of the field. A lot of that is going to come down to Jalen's eyes and how he reads the field. And Nick Bolton is an important part of their defense right there in the middle. And I think it's going to be an interesting matchup to watch because they're going to have to target the middle of the field, in my opinion. So it'll be interesting to see. So predictions, what are we thinking? I can go first. 27-21 Eagles. I think it's going to be. I think they're going to. I think the Chiefs are going to get some points on the board this time, just because, like we talked about, it was a historical ass beating last time. I think they're bound to get some points. But I think the Eagles offense is going to get some points on the board as well. So I think we'll see not a super high scoring matchup, but like I guess in nowadays average scoring matchup, 27-21 Eagles.
I'm going to go 17-21 Eagles. I started to go 31-28. Last second, Jake Elliott kick through the winds of Arrowhead.
Don't do that.
I thought about it. I thought, either way, it's going to be it's going to be one of those kind of games either way. I think it's going to be a close game until the end. I think the Eagles just are able to put together a drive at the end. It's kind of like just a talent kind of thing where both in terms of skill position players at the on the wide receiver position and in the secondary, I just don't think that they have the juice to. This is kind of the kind of matchup the Eagles needed when you're coming off a game where Devonta Smith and AJ Brown didn't get the ball, and you have Adoree Jackson starting at cornerback too. This is kind of one of those, hey, let's pump the brakes and slow it down for a second. And it's not going to be pretty, but they're going to put up a couple points on. They're going to have a couple great response drives, for lack of a better term.
It's going to be I don't think you have the facilities for that big man game.
Exactly. You by the end of the game, once the clock reaches double zero, the people on Twitter are going to say you only won because this happened or that happened on the final drive. But if you really take it, internalize the game and watch it, you'd be sitting there telling yourself they never really had a chance because they just didn't have the dudes right there.
Yeah. I think I kind of echo both of you guys' sentiments, right? Like I don't think the Chiefs have the horses on offense to keep pace with the Eagles, who I think they're going to get back on track offensively this week. I think we're going to see them feed AJ Brown early. We're going to see them get a Smitty involved, especially if Dallas Goedert can't go. But I do think I do think it's going to be. I'm feeling a bit of a weird game, so this is going to be kind of a peculiar score.
Scoregami.
I don't know if this would be scoregami, but I'm gonna go Eagles 26, Chiefs 19.
All right, so we're both
like
expecting
conversion somewhere. A couple
high 20 points from the Eagles. All right, well, appreciate everybody who's tapped in with us today. All 104 of you. Excited for this weekend, man. But make sure anybody who's listening, you subscribe to the Philly Blitz. Subscribe to the 14th and Market YouTube channel. Make sure you turn on notifications so you can see when we go live.
And for the love of God, 104 people watch it. Somebody get active in the comments, man. Please say something.
You want to see Pierre shotgun a beer? Ain't none of you guys come see us at the game. So we'll move the comment here. If you want to see Pierre shotgun a beer, comment.
Y'all missed out.
The bar is low.
All of a sudden, it just fills up. But anyways, listen, review, subscribe, 4 stars. You know everything.
5 stars.
I'm thinking. I don't know, man.
My man been staying in too many lower class hotels,
bro.
You know he's usually a 5-star guy.
This client, and they're putting us in like a 2-3 star. I'm like, come on, man. Like, yo,
a 2-star.
It's like 2.5, 3 stars. I'm like, bro, come on, man. Like, can y'all just like do me a little bit better? I'm coming here for a week. I'm not gonna be in my bed, and I gotta worry about bed bugs. Come on.
Oh, buddy, he heard 2 stars, and he thought the absolute worst.
Come on,
they're gonna
fly me out for business 5-star. Give me the 5-star treatment. Come on,
American cheese.
Am I missing something?
I think so. I'm missing something.
I said he's seen a 2-star, and he just thought the worst thing possible. He gonna be in there like they're gonna feed me American cheese.
I like American cheese though.
Oh gosh, that'd be the one thing I didn't expect to hear from Parth. You strike me as like a provolone.
Oh, I like a provolone, but I'm an American Cooper Sharp.
Okay, you're right. You're a Philly guy. You're right. I meant like the yellow American cheese, man.
Yeah. It's not the same.
I know.
Yeah, understood. But anyways, we're getting off track. Appreciate everybody who's tapped in. Go Birds.
Go Birds. Awkward silence.